Hello Pisces and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy, their energy, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross-watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Pisces, let's jump on in and see what we have here. We're going to start with Oracle cards looking at the overall energy of this connection, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with Tarot as we progress. But first, Pisces, let's take a look at what your energy toward this person is. Whoa. Trapped with healing here. I want more on this trapped card. Because there's this energy of you feeling, okay, breakups and makeups, backed into a corner, almost like you feel like you don't have a lot of control here when it comes to this connection and how things play out. And I feel like that's making it really hard for you because, when we feel out of control, especially if like the ball is in somebody else's court or if we feel like that's the case, our insecurities come out, right? Our fears come out, and it can feel really, really high stakes in the moment. I feel like you're dealing with a connection that's very wishy-washy, and maybe that's why you feel a little bit backed into a corner, is because you're trying to show up in a consistent way, you're trying to do what you can to make this work, but you're feeling like you're not getting that consistency back, and it's kind of, to you, feels as if it's like up to them to choose you or to change the way that this connection is currently unfolding, almost like it's out of your hands. And I think that that's, again, bringing up a lot of stress and anxiety and insecurity here for you. So it's making it hard, because I almost feel like you're struggling to really know how this person feels. I feel like there's a lot of kind of second guessing where they're at, especially if their energy is a little bit harder to read. So let's dive into it. Let's look at this person's energy toward you, Pisces. Passion, okay. I feel like they do have strong romantic feelings here, for sure. So you can be sure of that. And then you have romance with divine timing here. Interesting. Hang on, I want to clarify this divine. Oh, okay. Triggered. Okay, so this person comes on really strong, but I feel like they're not very consistent, meaning that there are times where you're like, oh my gosh, like this person really does care about me. They really, care about the connection. And there are times where you're like, I don't even know if they think about me. Like, I feel like it's so back and forth, and it's putting you through a lot here, because as time goes on in this connection, I feel like their energy gets more and more unpredictable. So it feels like in general, this person is really, really unpredictable. And dealing with any connection who is unpredictable, especially when you're talking about like romantic connections, can be incredibly challenging, because that inconsistency can keep like your nervous system in this fight or flight mode where you're like, are they going to choose me? Are they not? Are they going to walk away? Are they going to be there? Are they going to answer the phone? Or am I not going to talk to them for a few days? Or like, it doesn't necessarily need to be that intense, but I feel like there's a lot of that here where you're, desiring some consistency here, but you're getting a lot of, I don't even necessarily know if it's, well, I guess, yeah, mixed signals, I think is a big thing here, because yeah, it's like mixed signals, but their feelings are there. So I don't really know what's going on. I feel like you're like, I don't either. I'm watching this reading. All right, truth of this connection between Pisces and this person. Ooh, 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 ooh. Whoa, okay. Know your worth. I almost feel like typically Pisces, you are pretty good at knowing your value and knowing your worth. I feel like with this connection, it's making it a little bit harder because I feel like there are times where you are treated like you want to be treated, where you're like, okay, this is good, this is what I want. But then on the flip side, there are times when you're not, right? That those big like extremes, I feel like, that exists here. And I feel like there are times where you're like, oh my gosh, you feel this like euphoric, everything's working out, things feel really good. And there are times where you're in this grief and sadness where you're like, I feel like such a loss, and I feel such an emptiness from this person's detachment or distance. And I think that because you have this grief and sadness, and then you have manipulation here. And I think that, it's interesting because seeing this manipulation card is always a little red flaggy, I guess. But I also feel sometimes people's inability to be consistent and inability to commit can come off as very manipulative, because it feels like they're toying with us or they're toying with our emotions, when in reality, they struggle with maybe emotional availability or emotional awareness and things of that nature. So there might be a lot more to the story, and I feel like that's what this reading is about, is help bring you a little bit of clarity about what is really going on here, and ultimately like what you can do about it. What's in your power, what is in your control, because I feel like this has been incredibly challenging for you here. But let's keep going. Let's see what we've got. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Because again, it's like you feel like the ball is in their court. Like I feel like you feel like they're the ones making the decision. And it's like sometimes maybe it can even feel that you care more about them than they do about you. But I don't necessarily feel that that's the case. Overall theme of this reading for Pisces. Hang on, I feel like I need more to understand this. Oh, your feelings about this are all over the place. Yeah, because I was like, okay, so I'm not really supposed to take any of these specifically. Okay, you still miss me. We outgrew each other. We will overcome this. You didn't mean it. And it's like, I feel like this is like what this connection is putting you through. Is there are times where like, oh my gosh, you really care about me. Oh my gosh, no, you don't. Oh, you said these things and you really hurt me. Like that must mean that you don't care. Oh, but you said these things. That must mean that you really like me and really love me and want to be with me. Like, I feel like this is taking you all over the place. And then you're like, oh, we outgrew each other. Like, this isn't right. And then you're like, wait, no. We're going to overcome this. Like, we'll make it to the end. And this, whiplash here of your emotions, I feel like are a pretty direct reflection of their behavior. Like, I feel like how extreme their behavior is, it's taking you to extremes in your emotions too, right? Where, oh my gosh, this is good. Oh my gosh, it's not. So yeah, I feel like it's interesting because there are probably times where you're really angry, and then there are times where you're really sad, and there are times where you're like, oh, but I really miss this person, and I want to make this work, and there are times where you feel good. Like, and it almost is giving you this energy of, I don't even know what to think or what to feel or what to make of this, or what to do. And I think that, yeah, I think that this has been an absolute freaking whirlwind for you. Because I got this "you still miss me" card, and I was like, that doesn't really make sense in the context. But then, yeah, all of these together, you didn't mean it. You still miss me. We outgrew each other. We will overcome this. Like, Yeah, it's all over. And you know what's interesting, Pisces? This doesn't feel, like you. Like this isn't typical for you. I feel like this person kind of brings out a lot in you and triggers some emotions that maybe other people haven't before. But let's break this down further. Let's look, Pisces, at your side of this connection. Pisces energy toward the person they are dealing with. Pisces side of the connection toward the person they are dealing with. Five of Pentacles. I feel like out of anything here, Pisces, you are just super craving stability. Oh, Seven of Wands in reverse. See, that's unlike you too. You're not acting like you. This is interesting. Like, it's like if your friends were watching the way that this connection was like making you feel, or like the way you were acting, I feel like they would be like, this isn't like you. And not in a sense that you're doing anything wrong. I just feel like this impacts you in a way that you've never really experienced before. So let me just keep going. Pisces side of this connection. Because the Seven of Wands in reverse is like lacking boundaries, doubting yourself, doubting your worth, and what you're deserving of. And I feel like for some reason this connection really has a tendency of making you feel that way. So Five of Pentacles, Six of Wands, it's like you flip back and forth between this. Hope that the connection is going to work, hope that things are going to change, hope that you're finally going to experience what you desire in this connection, to loss of that hope, loss of the expectation, loss of what you desire. And yeah, the cycle, it just keeps repeating. It's like a merry-go-round, like a roller coaster. And it feels like every single time you guys end up back in the same place of this like Five of Pentacles, this loss energy. And like I said, it doesn't feel like this is very like you. The Hermit, which is all about reflection, shining light in the darkness. Six of Cups in reverse. So there's a pattern. There's a pattern that this connection that keeps repeating in this connection. You and this person are definitely stuck in some sort of a cycle. This is one of, I feel like, the most difficult cycles in relationships, where somebody provides us with the feelings that we seek, the feelings of love and safety and validation that we're looking for, and then like withdraw it, and we're left going, what the hell? Where did that go? And then it's like they bring it back and we're like, oh my gosh, this is what I've always wanted. And then they take it away and you're like, wait, what did I do wrong? Or what can we do to bring that back? Or how can we make that work? Because especially if something, because I hear this a lot, and I think that it's very natural and common when we experience those connections that push us into a lot of healing. It's that energy of like, I've never felt this way before. I've never had this strong of feelings for anybody. I've never felt these highs. I've never experienced, these incredibly strong emotions, and therefore the lows feel worth it. So it's like, of course you want to eventually find that stability of getting to experience all that, is possible. But then at the same time, I feel like you've been kind of put through hell in this connection. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I feel like that's why you feel backed into a corner, because I feel like you're really like, I've done what I can to make this work, or to make this person see that I love them, that I care about them, that I want this connection to get to a healthy place, a sustainable place, a stable place. And you're like, it's up to them. It's up to them to choose it. It's up to them to change behavior. It's up to them to do these things that make them see I don't know if it's like your value or that this is worth it or what. And I think that that's why you feel, you go from that hope to that loss and the why you feel so out of control is because the way that this person is behaving is just like putting you through the ups and downs. And you're like, if they would just do this, if they would just commit, if they would just stop, with this back and forth, like we'd be good and we could just build instead of feeling like we're just, that like stopping and starting over and over again. So yeah, I definitely feel like, I kind of want to take both of these. I definitely feel like there is some stuff to unpack here to really look at what is going on and ultimately just kind of make sense of this person's behavior because, yeah, they're very much, they are very much all over the place, which is making you feel very all over the place as well. So let's look at it. This person's energy toward you. Romance with wild card. The Fool in reverse kind of gives the energy of stopping before you start, never taking a leap, never giving something a chance. That's kind of what this person, what it feels like their energy is. It's like they never give this a chance to grow, a chance to build. They always find themselves back in this place of their unpredictable behavior. Now, it's interesting because with the Four of Wands, I feel like they like the idea of what this could be. They like the idea of what this could be. I feel like they see a lot of potential here, just like you do. But it also feels like the Three of Wands in reverse, it's that tendency to play it safe, right? That tendency, it's kind of like you have a dream or a goal. And say you expect failure before that dream or goal, you expect failure, so you never actually start. You never go after the thing. You never really give it a chance. Or like you start it, but then you stop. You never come back to it. You never actually invest in it and commit to giving it a chance to grow. Like even, if there is failure or possibility of failure, like, the whole point of life is to go after things despite the possibility of what could go wrong and embracing when things do go wrong, the lessons and the growth and the healing from that. But a lot of people, they tend to avoid that uncomfortable aspect of life and they like the control. They like to do things in a way that keeps their ego in control, that keeps them in a place of safety and security, even if it means loneliness, even if it means not having the things that their heart truly deserves and desires. So they might not be fulfilled, but they'll be in control. And I feel like that's very much the energy that this person carries and why I feel like their energy is very confusing to you, because there are times where they come on really strong because the feelings are there. They have feelings for you. They see the potential in this connection. They see what this could be. And I feel like they want what that potential is. But then as soon as, things get hard or real or serious or there's a need for commitment or to actually like give this a chance, I feel like that's when they're like, whoa, and they pull back and they distance themselves and they withdraw their energy. And that whiplash kind of energy is really putting you through a lot here. So what else do we need to know about this person? Justice in reverse. See, this is what freaks me out a little bit. It's the lack of accountability. It's the lack of awareness and the willingness to say, this is what I'm doing and I'm going to break this pattern. It's almost like because then there's the Tower. It's like they keep doing the same thing over and over again. And I don't necessarily, I want to go as far as to say, like, I don't feel like they're taking your feelings into consideration when it comes to how they're handling this, but I don't think that they're taking their own feelings into consideration either. Like, going back to what I said, people don't sabotage their dreams or their goals intentionally or consciously, right? They do it out of fear. And a lot of times that's a very ego-driven, subconscious-driven decision. And so, when we want people to choose us or to value us or to take our feelings into consideration, but they're not even taking their own feelings or their own desires in consideration, then we're going to constantly feel very let down because we're asking somebody to do for us what they won't even do for themselves. This person has a tendency of really burning things down. And that's the best way I can put it. It's like they're going to find a reason to ruin it. They're going to find a reason to ruin a good thing. They're going to find a way. And I don't necessarily feel like it comes from a place of trying to hurt another person. Like, I don't feel like this person, and this is why I said with that manipulation card, I don't feel like this person is like seeking out ways to hurt you or to harm you. I think that they carry this lack of healing within them that causes them to act in a certain way that is very, yes, unfair to you. There's no doubt about that. And I certainly don't want to say that, you shouldn't be hurt by their decisions or their behavior, because you have a right to feel the way that you feel. But we also have to remember that a lot of the reasons people do the things that they do has very little to do with us and way more to do with them. So there's a lot that this person, I feel like, carries and hasn't dealt with, because accountability is like a very bare minimum quality that we need when it comes to building a partnership in another person. Somebody who is willing to say, yes, I do these things, and like who is very aware of their instincts and their traumas and their triggers and their tendencies to withdraw or their tendencies to run or their tendencies to be emotionally unavailable. Because finding, the right partner isn't about finding somebody who's perfect, right? You're never going to find someone who's perfect, but it's about finding someone who is very aware of the ways in which they don't love well or they don't allow themselves to be loved, and is like working on those things, is actively, doing what they can to change their behavior so that they show up differently. When I see the Justice in reverse, it brings a little bit of like to the reading, because it's like that means that somebody is doing the things that they're doing, but they're not addressing the things that they're doing. They're doing these things, and then they're going, man, like, I wish that, Pisces and I could work, but then they're not doing anything differently. They keep showing up in the same way. They keep withdrawing. They keep sabotaging. They keep ruining a good thing and then getting upset about a good thing not working out for them. And that is where we have to separate our energy from the decisions that other people make, or like our worth and our value and what we're capable of having. Because what's so important for you to know, Pisces, is that you are absolutely capable of having the love that you deserve. There is no doubt about that. But other people, when, they struggle to choose us or to commit to us or love us in the way that we deserve, they are reflecting back to us something that is unhealed, something that we are needing to address, a way in which we are not committing to ourselves, choosing ourselves, valuing, loving ourselves in the way that we wish to experience that in another person. And I feel like this connection is a really big, I don't love this word, but I'm going to say it anyway, a really big test of that. I feel like this connection is really pushing you to know your worth, right? Because again, I feel like typically it's really easy for you to know your worth and know your value with other connections, but this connection in particular, the way that the dynamic exists, it makes it a lot harder because there's a stronger pull to it. There are stronger, high, good emotions involved, which makes it a little bit harder for you to know your worth, for you to set boundaries, for you to stand up for yourself or to choose yourself, because there's in your mind a lot more at stake. And I think that that's why there's a need to look at this a little bit differently, not so much as like, if this doesn't work out, you can't have the love that you deserve, because I don't feel like that's necessarily the case at all. I feel like this connection is teaching you something about your dynamic in relationships and the love that you have for yourself and that you carry into your relationships and the reflection that you experience in another person because of that, so that you can address what needs to be addressed, so you can have the love that you do truly deserve. But I hope that makes sense, because it's important also for you to know that I'm not blaming you for this person's behavior. The way that they're behaving is 100% theirs to take accountability for, but if we, hold on to the hope that somebody is going to change but keep getting disappointed by the way that they show up, then at that point, we keep putting ourselves in a position to get hurt because we are holding on to the idea that we have of another person. And it makes sense, right? It's so natural and normal to do that, but we have to address the pattern, because sometimes we fall in love with that potential and we experience that pattern instead of that potential. And we don't realize it, but we're actually choosing the pattern by chasing that potential. And so when we can address these things, we can then decide, okay, here's what's in my power. Here's what's in my control. Here's how I can move forward so I can have the love that I deserve, whether it ends up being in this person or not, because I know that the love that I deserve wouldn't put me through hell like this. And that is the truth. The love that you deserve should provide you with more clarity and peace and calmness than it does anxiety and stress and insecurity. All right, in between this connection, you have grief and sadness with Know Your Worth. I'm going to dive deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Any information on that extended is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Pisces, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Pisces.